Okay, your turn. Just, what are you?
I am DI-03367, a state-of-the-art Pragmata created here at the Cradle. I possess basic life-saving protocols.
Okay, that's enough. I don't need the user's manual. Alright, next question. What the hell is going on here? And why are these things trying to kill us?
I don't know.
State of the art, huh?
To give a person an opinion, one must first judge well whether that person is of a disposition to receive it. The reason I bring this up is because some of the subject matter in this video is going to be quite controversial. And my audience is not the people who are going to click off and leave a mean comment and dislike and whatever. My audience is you, who are probably fed up with all of this bullshit that has been going around on the internet lately. My audience is you because I need you to understand that the cockroaches fighting over all of this bullshit are just brainwashed. And this video is my attempt to make that clear. Not to them, mind, because they are not of a disposition to understand reality. You are of a disposition to understand reality, so my audience is you. I was caught in the web of social media for far too long, not realizing how it subtly told me who to blame, who to be righteously angry at. To shake it off, I had to set social media aside and think for myself. It is a drug we depend on for our worldviews to persist. We chronically online individuals are constantly at each other's throats, holding the best of us responsible for the actions of the worst of us. I'm not saying we should abandon social media. There's a reason politicians try to shut it down. Social media connects people, makes them want to move, but it also divides us.
Vitals stable. Awakening subject, Hugh Williams.
This is Diana, the child companion to the space dad figure Hugh in the new Capcom game Pragmata. People are at this game's throat with some of the most outrageous criticisms, such as this take, for example.
Childless men do not have paternal instincts the way that childless women have maternal instincts. Men first experience paternal instincts once they have their own children. Men are not nurturers. Men don't gush over cute kids in public. Men don't have baby fever. If a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he is likely a predator.
Now, you are probably absolutely sick of all of the dumb shit that has been going around on the internet lately, and I assure you I have a unique perspective, so hear me out. Hi, I'm Will, and I study stories for the commentary or the metaphors embedded within them, as well as the impacts they have on society. And let me be clear here, my goal with this discussion is not to dispute any of these claims. It's not to come after any of the stupid people who have had absolutely bad takes. My goal with this is to provide you with some clarity when it comes to defending this game or yourself from the absolute buffoons who would dog on you for it. Because I don't need to go into detail about how absolutely self-righteous and ignorant the idea that men have no paternal instincts is. I think that anyone with 2 brain cells understands that, right? And there are plenty of videos on the internet that have really dissected this take. And listen, I did not want to fight this fight, but when every video on YouTube was just, hey, this is why this other person is wrong and they should feel bad, that all just seemed like rage bait. Like, none of it was uplifting the viewer in any way. It was just like, you should be angry about this because these people are talking shit. That's not my goal here. Sure, drama gets views. Negativity is great. I'm going to be plenty negative in this video, but I'm also going to be hopeful. And it's important to understand that there is hope in this situation as much as there is negativity. And some of the things that I am going to say here are some of the things that if I could go back in time, I would tell my younger self. It is okay to want a family because this game inspired you. It is okay to think that Diana is absolutely adorable because she is. And none of this is predatory. These are natural human instincts, and anyone who tries to tell you that you are a predator just because you've grown attached to this character, they are irrelevant.
Oh, getting close to snack time.
Do humans really need to eat more than once a day? Your energy efficiency doesn't seem good.
Sure, that's fair. But sharing a meal is more than just recharging. I was an orphan, so at dinner with my new family, just having someone that'd listen was magical. It was all kid stuff, but they were always there. Talking with someone who just accepts you for you is a kind of nourishment, but for your soul.
You can get nutrients from talking?
Something like that.
One of the wildest critiques that I came across was, hey, if you enjoy Pragmata, you should only enjoy it for the gameplay. And if you have any, like, emotional attachment to Diana, the character, whatsoever, well, you're just a creep. And you should just enjoy the game for the gameplay. That one really stuck with me because it sort of implies that video games exist in a vacuum where only gameplay exists. And let me tell you, video games have never existed in a vacuum. Even the first video game ever invented in 1958, Tennis for Two, was a game between two players. That's not a vacuum. That's two people playing together. Arcade games are famous for this. Arcade games picked up in like the early 1970s. Arcade games had scoreboards where locals of the community would come in and they would test their mechanical prowess against other members of the community. And they could show for their mechanical prowess by having their name be on that scoreboard, saying, hey, I'm better than everybody else. Do you know what that is? Because it's not just pixels on a screen. These video games, they don't exist in a vacuum. This is community. Video games have existed from day one in this community where other people interact because of video games. Players challenge each other and themselves to get better and better at the video game, to be better than your friend, to be better than that one teenager at the arcade who you've never even seen him, but you know his name is Mad Max, referencing Stranger Things here. Look no further than Netflix's Stranger Things for proof that arcades were always about community, not just pixels on a screen. And now after 50 years and gaming has evolved for half a century, we have the opportunity to tell stories with games, interact with characters through games, and even the tradition of being the best at a game or having the highest score still lives on in the spirit of live service esports. But more importantly than any of this, gaming offers you the ability to engage in power fantasy.
Oh, come on. Damn it. Hey, get behind me. Move. Hey, you need to...
I think I can help. Bypassing first and second firewall, hooking control protocols. Analyzing, converting the interrupt matrix. Visualization complete. Initiating hack. Shoot now.
Hey, what did you just do?
Now, if you're going to take anything from this discussion, this is the big thing here. Power fantasy for the uninitiated is why gamers game. It's escapism. It's about living vicariously through a character. You read a book about a dragon rider and you live through their triumphs and tribulations. You watch a movie about a Jedi. You know, he's just a farm boy. And then his family is taken from him and he has to go and he seeks out revenge, but then it becomes so much more than that. Those are examples of power fantasy. Even low stakes stories like Meeting the Girl Next Door, like that's also power fantasy. And sure, books and movies, like they have power fantasy, right? You live vicariously through these characters. But video games offer more control for your power fantasy than ever before. You press that X button, you swing that sword, you slay that beast, you overthrow the empire. Video games are the pinnacle of power fantasy. We play Legend of Zelda because we want to be the hero who saves the kingdom. We play Minecraft to express our creativity, and we play Animal Crossing because we love setting up a village and designing this cute village with cute, sassy villagers who, you know, each have like an expressive personality. And all of this is power fantasy. If these games did not offer the experience of saving the kingdom, of showing off your creativity, of meeting cool and interesting sassy characters, it was just gameplay in a vacuum, would they appeal to us the way they do? An even better example of this would be something like live service games. According to Riot August, developer for the live service esports game League of Legends, a game where players pick characters to compete in a team against their peers, the vast majority of players tend to pick characters that interest them, as opposed to a minority of players who pick characters based on power. If we apply Riot August's logic, something that he has observed over the course of more than 10 years working on the game, the majority of players pick because Characters embody a specific power fantasy. They pick Garen because they want to be a sword-wielding bastion of justice. They pick Morgana because they want to play a goth mommy with black magic powers. And they pick this rock guy because rock guys are awesome and swords bounce off your skin because your skin is made of rocks. Sure, there's always the exception. Some players pick based on who's got the best stats, who's got the best features that make it easiest to optimize to win the game. But most players pick because those characters embody their power fantasy, because their gameplay elements and their pure vibes mix together to create power fantasy. Darting around and slicing through your enemies as the Wind Samurai Yasuo makes you feel like a Wind Samurai. So let's tie it back to Space Dad Simulator. If you want to be an epic space dad fending off waves of evil AI robots, which hopefully doesn't ever become relevant, that is a compelling and empowering archetype, and you shouldn't be belittled for it. You should be empowered. Like, that is awesome. But Diana wasn't made in a vacuum. Stories of father figures have been told in video games, in movies, and in books for as long as these mediums have existed. Was Hans from The Book Thief a pervert? No. Pride and Prejudice, To Kill a Mockingbird. Stories like these are empowered by the relationships between father and daughter. So now why, in 2026, is it creepy to want to engage with the innocent power fantasy of protecting your daughter? And look, let me be absolutely abundantly clear here. Predators do exist, and I have seen some of the awful, vile things that people have said about Diana on the internet. And before you say, well, she's actually an AI robot, so it doesn't count. Yes, it fucking does. She presents herself as a child. She acts like a child. She looks like a child. This character is a child. And anyone who would try to put in some kind of stupid loophole it's ridiculous. There are no loopholes for predators. Some of the most heinous and violent acts in human history have been done by predators. And putting these heinous and violent acts on the same level as someone who just appreciates and adores the relationship between this father figure and this child is absolutely absurd. Like, do you understand what you're saying? There are real people out there who have destroyed people's lives, who have utterly ruined their self-esteem, who have committed acts of violence whose victims have to live with it for the rest of their life. I know people who start panicking or even vomiting because they see someone who vaguely resembles their abuser. And to put people who innocently adore the relationship between Hugh and Diana on the same level as those violent, hateful criminals, it is so ignorant. If we keep throwing this word around at anything we don't understand, it is going to lose its power. And people are not going to recognize real predators for what they are. What I am trying to say here is that just because you enjoy Pragmata for what it is, a space dad simulator, doesn't mean you're a perv. Be honest, you can't tell me Capcom didn't know exactly what they were doing with this character. Diana is manufactured to be as charming, as cute, as protectable as possible. Capcom wants you to be endeared by her. Diana is like the center point of Capcom's marketing. The very first image on Pragmata's Steam store page is a picture of her smiling. You can't blame Capcom for wanting to make something that would appeal to the widest audience possible. They're a business. They've got to make money. If Capcom's marketing was about horniness, people would jerk off and move on. Consumers of sexy things tend to move from one thing to the next because of that novelty. The reason Pragmata has staying power is not because of horniness, but because it was designed to appeal to your natural and innocent desire to protect and nurture. And both men and women have that. Now, there are other theories going around online about Pragmata being propaganda for everyone to make babies, which I think is a little silly. What is Pragmata gonna get out of this? More sales, maybe, I guess? But you're gonna get sales. Like, I'm not convinced. And the other thing is, like, at the end of the day, if you don't want kids, more than likely you're not going to have them. Or you'll change your mind later, or you'll behave in such a way that you never have them, right? Like, if you don't want kids, that's not going to change. And this game at the end of the day, like, might give you baby fever, but, like, if you really are set on not wanting kids, you're probably not going to have them. And if you do, if this game has inspired you and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I want a family, that's good. That's an amazing thing. Go ahead, do it. Find someone who wants to pursue that and go do it, because that is awesome. That is beautiful. beautiful. It is a miracle. It's amazing. Just understand that changing diapers is not the same as shooting robots. So how does this all come together? We've covered a lot in this discussion, and I want to come back to our thesis, that it is okay for you to be emotionally attached to Diana. It is okay to be inspired to want a family. It's okay for you to feel the compulsion to nurture and protect, because those are regular human instincts. Pragmata offers the power fantasy of being a space dad protecting his AI daughter from evil AI robots, and that's appealing. And that doesn't exist in a vacuum. If you didn't want that, you could go play Dead Space. There are games that offer this experience, but without the kid in it. That is the point. That is the selling point. That is why Diana is an intentional point of marketing. The game wouldn't have stuck around if her character was shallow or if she was an object of horniness. And Capcom wouldn't have made you a video game to jack off to and walk away. They want to offer a deep and compelling experience because they want you to come back. And as a result of all this, you cannot separate Diana from Pragmata's gameplay because both are intertwined. Sure, you could make a new game where you do puzzles and you shoot enemies at the same time, but it wouldn't be Pragmata. And the point of playing Pragmata is to immerse yourself in all of the elements that make Pragmata what it is. People grow attached to characters in movies, in books, in video games, and they've done that for as long as these mediums have existed. And to suggest to the contrary is downright psychopathic. It's human nature to want to nurture and to protect. It's time to stop belittling men for having an innocent paternal instinct. And if you really feel that men are just these awful, horrible perverts, they all suck, and all they want to do is essay little kids, if that's really the case, then I'm sorry that men have failed you in your life. And you don't deserve that. But that is not the reality of all men across the board. And good men do not deserve to pay the price for what shitty men have done. In what world do we help society by teaching men that they are creepy for wanting to be fathers or wanting to protect youth? If we want nurturing, protecting, emotionally available men in our world, we have to stop punishing their instincts to nurture and protect.
Getting nutrients from talking? That's so weird. What happens if the nutrients aren't enough?
You probably feel lonely or just uneasy. Might even start losing faith in yourself.
Could you get sick?
Some do, yeah. But everyone's different.
Well, I've got you to talk to, so I'll probably be fine.